Every week, one 8-hour video will be uploaded. All novels uploaded here are completed, so you will get a full story without searching or waiting. I have listened to the translated version on web, and there are no major problems with translation. If you want Chinese novel translated, give me the original name of the novel and I will respond to your request as soon as possible. Please make sure your request is on the latest video. If you hear this "do" sound in the novel, it means either question mark or some space is left, like getting materials or experience gain there more but not shown. If after a name is used and after there is silence, it means exclamation marks were used as in shock. I don't know if this will happen in recorded one, but it happened in web version. Chapter 19. Drawl. A 1 billion cash prize is right in front of you. What are you waiting for? Draw for me now. Instantly, a giant, colorful circular roulette wheel, 2 meters in diameter, appeared before Chun Bo. Of course, only Chun Bo could see this wheel. In the huge circular roulette wheel, the 1 billion Dragon Country currency cash prize option occupied half of the wheel. It was the prize with the highest winning rate among all prizes, and also the prize Chun Bo most wanted to get. The remaining half was densely divided, and the chance of winning most of the prizes was less than 1%. Chun Bo hadn't even clearly seen what prizes were on it when the wheel began to spin rapidly. Ding-a-ling-ling. The speed of the wheel's rotation gradually slowed down. Chun Bo's heart was in his throat. He kept silently chanting, 1 billion, 1 billion, 1 billion. Sure enough, the wheel did not disappoint Chun Bo, stopping at the edge of the red area that occupied half of the wheel. 1 billion. It really is 1 billion. Ha ha ha. However, just as Chun Bo was overjoyed, the wheel, which had already stopped, turned one more notch to the left. Finally, the pointer of the wheel landed on a spot Chun Bo couldn't even see clearly. Chun Bo was instantly petrified and numb. His soul, which had been pulled to heaven the previous second, was instantly thrown into hell. My goodness! My 1 billion cash prize. The duck that was at my mouth just flew away. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the epic Kunpeng kidney source. Kunpeng kidney source? What exactly is this thing? System. Give me back my 1 billion cash prize. System. Replying to the host, if your kidney is not good, your girlfriend will run away. A good kidney is a divine weapon for conquering girls. Kunpeng kidney source will provide the host with Kunpeng-like power and endless stamina. But I'm still a virgin. What's the use of this thing? Can I not have this? Can you let me draw again? System. Each 1,000 anger points only grants one drawing opportunity. We hope the host will continue to work hard, and the next 1 billion cash prize winner will be you. Ding, drawing consumed 1,000 anger points. Current remaining anger points, 35 points. Holy cow! My 1,000 anger points that I painstakingly saved. Chun Bo felt an incomparable heartache. He glanced at Lu Fei beside him. No way. He could only continue to exploit Wang Hao, that unlucky guy. Lu Fei. Favorability +1. No, what's going on? How did Lu Fei's favorability for him suddenly increase by another point? Could it be that because he obtained the Kunpeng kidney source, his appearance even became more handsome? This is unscientific. However, Chun Bo noticed that Lu Fei was looking at him with a deeply emotional expression. That's right, Lu Fei had just had a conflict with Wang Hao because of their bickering. This was the first time in 20 years that Lu Fei and Wang Hao, mother and son, had been so confrontational and at loggerheads. Therefore, she felt very lost and at a loss, just as she sought comfort from Chun Bo, expecting him to give her strength and courage. She found out Chun Bo was even more lost and at a loss than she was. That's right. Why hadn't she thought of it? She was just not understood and accepted by her son. And Chun Bo, he came from a wealthy family, so his family's requirements for his spouse would naturally be even more stringent. Being with her now, how much pressure must he be under? Moreover, Chun Bo was also Wang Hao's classmate and brother. Compared to herself, Chun Bo must have hoped even more to gain Wang Hao's approval and understanding. Given Wang Hao's attitude just now, Chun Bo must be very sad and lost right now. At this moment, Lu Fei truly felt a pang of heartache for this big boy who had sacrificed so much for her. My dear, How is just afraid that I'll be deceived and can't accept this fact for a while. I believe that as long as we both work hard, he will definitely understand me and accept you as his stepfather. Lu Fei held Chun Bo's hand, her eyes bright and spirited, with a certainty that said, "We can definitely do it." Chun Bo was utterly bewildered. He didn't understand why. Why are you comforting me all of a sudden? Did Lu Fei make up something again? Seeing Lu Fei's attitude, Chun Bo decided to seize the opportunity to take advantage of it. He had just consumed 1,000 anger points. Shouldn't he recoup them from Wang Hao? Fei, with the new car, how about we take a spontaneous trip? Go somewhere else to clear our minds? A trip? Where to? But I only took 1 day off. I have to go to work tomorrow. Then let's go to Zhu City. I heard there's a lover's road there, especially suitable for couples to stroll along, and the sea breeze is particularly pleasant and romantic. And it's not far, only about an hour's drive from Yangqing. Lu Fei hesitated for a moment, her eyes darting to Chun Bo a few times. You wouldn't trick me into going to Zhu City and then find an excuse to say we can't come back, so we have to stay in a hotel, would you? Chun Bo immediately straightened his posture, looking like a righteous gentleman. Do you think I'm such a despicable person? I promise you, without your permission, I absolutely will not do that with you. Really? Really? I guarantee it with my character. All right then. I also want to go out and clear my mind. Lu Fei smiled enchantingly and excitedly linked her arm through Chun Bo's. During this time, Jiang Qian had already completed all the car purchase procedures. Beep. Company account received 3.5 million Dragon Country currency. Everything was settled. Chun Bo's domineering payment instantly shocked the entire Mercedes Forest store. They had seen many wealthy and influential people who could afford a Maybach GLS 600. But a magnate who paid in full for a top-spec model, with nearly $1 million in optional extras in less than half an hour, was truly a first for them. Although this person appeared ordinary on the surface, he was definitely a scion of a powerful family. People in Dragon Country knew that the billionaires on the Forbes rich list were still not impressive enough compared to the mysterious family clans. Chun Bo and Lu Fei were like figures under a spotlight, attracting the attention of everyone in the Mercedes Forest store. A feeling of pride spontaneously arose in Lu Fei's heart. The smile on her face also became more confident and brilliant. Lu Fei, with her head held high and chest out, had her entire demeanor elevated to another level. Was this, too, a leap brought about by the power of money? Lu Fei. Favorability +1. Lu Fei's favorability had already reached 89 points. Chun Bo was ecstatic. He wondered what the epic grand prize the system would reward when Lu Fei's favorability reached 95. Would it be like other people's systems, directly returning cash for consumption? Chun Bo's spending behavior even alarmed the general manager of this 4S store. Distinguished guest, I am Luo Jinlong, the general manager of this 4S store. In the future, if you need to purchase or trade in luxury cars, just contact me. I guarantee I can arrange everything clearly for you. Not only Mercedes-Benz cars, but also luxury sports cars like Ferrari, Bugatti, Lamborghini, and others. I am involved with all of them and guarantee I can meet your car needs. Luo Jinlong, the general manager of the 4S store, proactively handed Chun Bo his business card. Upon learning that Chun Bo had paid in full for that Maybach GLS 600, the male salesperson was filled with regret. He not only completely missed out on tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands in high commissions, he had also made a public promise that if Chun Bo and Lu Fei could afford this Maybach GLS 600, he would perform a handstand while eating feces in public. Chapter 20. Originally, obtaining a temporary license plate at a 4S store usually required waiting 1 to 2 days. If you wanted to get a temporary license plate on the same day, you had to pay extra. This was also a way for 4S store sales staff to earn extra money. In fact, the Vehicle Administration Office had already simplified most procedures to make it easier for people to get temporary license plates. Most 4S stores could process them on the same day for immediate road use. But in the face of a distinguished Mercedes-Benz owner, how could one show their status without spending more money? So, generally, expedited processing for a temporary license plate would require an extra payment of 1 or 2,000. For a young master from a wealthy family like Chun Bo, who doesn't treat money like money, an extra 3 to 5,000 was also possible. But General Manager Luo Jinlong didn't think that way. This price was definitely not Chun Bo's limit, but the limit of the Maybach's price. A young master from a wealthy family like Chun Bo, who could casually pull out several million to buy a Maybach GLS 600 in full, definitely had the potential to spend tens of millions on luxury cars or even higher-end luxury cars. Luo Jinlong had been in the circle of the rich for many years, and he knew what it meant for someone to be able to casually splurge several million from a private account. Don't look at some seemingly glamorous big bosses who claim to be worth hundreds of millions or even billions. If you ask them to buy a luxury car worth several million in full, they would truly be reluctant. Some bosses couldn't even come up with the money at once, because most of these bosses' funds were tied up in projects, or they only owned properties of equivalent value. Given Chun Bo's spending habits, Luo Jinlong guessed that Chun Bo's personal account held at least hundreds of millions in cash. If a young master from a wealthy family had hundreds of millions in cash in his personal account, it meant his family owned at least tens of billions in assets. This was absolutely a top-tier customer. If he offended such a customer for that 1 or 2,000 in expedited fees, Luo Jinlong would want to die. Not only could he not charge money, he also had to be fast. Under General Manager Luo Jinlong's handling, not only was not a single cent charged for the temporary license plate, but a super-speed process was initiated. It only took 10 minutes to get the temporary license plate required for road use. Chun Bo was very satisfied with this, and he promised that if he needed to buy luxury cars in the future, he would prioritize Manager Luo. Upon receiving Chun Bo's promise, Luo Jinlong's smile was sweeter than honey. As soon as Chun Bo drove the brand new Maybach GLS 600 out of the 4S store and embarked on his journey to Zhu City, Wang Hao's call came in. He was just wondering how and when to tell Wang Hao about his and Lu Fei's trip to Zhu City to extract his rage points. And now he came knocking himself. Chun Bo held his phone in front of Lu Fei and wiggled it. "It's Wang Hao. Should I answer?" "No, I don't want to hear his voice right now." "Oh, if I affect the relationship between you and your son, I would feel very guilty." Seeing Chun Bo's melancholy expression, Lu Fei immediately felt both heartache and self-reproach. Yes, Chun Bo must be having a hard time caught between her and Wang Hao. Why hadn't she considered Chun Bo's feelings? "I'm sorry, you can answer if you want, but I'm afraid he'll say something too unpleasant and ruin your mood." "It's okay. This is something we have to go through. I believe he will accept our relationship sooner or later." Lu Fei looked at Chun Bo affectionately and nodded. Originally, Chun Bo wanted to connect his phone to the car's system so Lu Fei could also listen to Wang Hao's call. Unfortunately, no matter how he tried, his broken Redmi phone couldn't connect to the car's system. "This crappy Mercedes. It can't even connect to my Redmi phone."
Chun Bo cursed angrily.
Helplessly, he had to drive with one hand and answer the call with the other. If he were driving a Ferrari with one hand, that would be incredibly cool. But this was a Maybach. It had no soul. Chun Bo made up his mind that after returning from Zhu City, he would go find Luo Jinlong to get a Ferrari, to show off. "Chun Bo, screw you. I warn you to stay away from my mommy, or I'll cripple you." Wang Hao's hysterical roar came from the phone. Hearing Wang Hao's insolence, Lu Fei couldn't help but frown. Just as she was about to scold Wang Hao, Chun Bo stopped her. "Extremes meet. I'll talk to the child," Chun Bo said in a fatherly tone. These words, heard by Wang Hao, were more painful than being stabbed with a knife. Ding! Rage points from Wang Hao. Plus 30. Current total rage points. 65 points. Heh, you little rascal. Didn't those rage points just come in? On the other end, Wang Hao was gritting his teeth in hatred. Chun Bo, you bastard. Come at me if you have a problem. Don't mess with my mom. How? I know some things are hard for you to accept right now, but I think you should try to understand. Your mother. She has been single for so many years for you, and now she has finally developed some feelings. For me. Why can't you just let her be happy? Ding. Rage points from Wang Hao. Plus 30. Current total rage points. 95 points. Hehe, these rage points come in fast. He believed that with Wang Hao, this fat sheep, he would soon accumulate another 1,000 rage points. I'll let your grandpa be happy. Wang Hao roared hysterically. Alas, you are both very agitated right now. Because of you, Feifei is feeling very upset, so I've decided to take her to Zhu City to relax. You bastard, who are you calling Feifei? Is Feifei a name you can call? Wait, what did you just say? You're going to Zhu City to relax. Yes, we are already on our way. No. Chun Bo, you bastard. You're trying to trick my mommy into spending the night with you in Zhu City, aren't you? You scoundrel. Come back right now. Ding. Rage points from Wang Hao. Plus 30. Current total rage points. 125 points. Awesome. Wang Hao, I've known you for so many years. Don't you know what kind of person I am? Don't think of everyone as being so dirty. Mommy, I know you're right there, listen to me. Chun Bo, this bastard, just wants to trick you into going to Zhu City to get a room with him. Don't fall for his trick. It's still not too late to come back, Mommy, I beg. You! Wang Hao knew that Chun Bo was deliberately retaliating against him and disgusting him. So he didn't bother arguing with Chun Bo anymore. Thus, he directly shouted at Lu Fei, hoping she could turn back from her misguided path. How can you think of Xiao Bo as so dirty? He already promised me that we would come back after dinner in Zhu City, and he definitely wouldn't spend the night in Zhu City. My mommy, do you believe what men say? Those are all the tricks I use to deceive young girls. Lu Fei was stunned for a moment, not expecting Wang Hao to incriminate himself. Her usually obedient and caring son was actually just like his father. Just because you're dirty doesn't mean Xiao Bo is dirty. I trust him, and we are both adults, even if we do something, it's our freedom. What's wrong with me spending the night with him? Lu Fei angrily hung up the phone. Humph. This rebellious son. Ding. Rage critical hit from Wang Hao. 120 points. Current total rage points. 245 points. Rage critical hit generated. Strength attribute plus 1 awarded. Host's current physical attributes. Strength 7. Speed 9. Stamina 6. Normal human peak is 10 points. Chapter 21. Chun Bo really wanted to kiss Lu Fei. He's so good at talking. Just a few simple sentences had already increased his rage by over 100 points. It even triggered a rage critical hit, increasing his strength by 1 point. His current strength has reached 7 points, with the peak for normal humans being 10 points. This means his current strength already surpasses the vast majority of ordinary people. He should have no problem fighting 3 ordinary people at once. Moreover, his speed has reached 9 points, so even if he can't win, escaping won't be an issue at all. Right now, earning rage from Wang Hao is fine. With Wang Hao's scrawny arms and legs, he's no match for Chun Bo. But this system is destined to make him enemies everywhere. Conflicts with bound targets are inevitable in the future. Fortunately, the system took this into account. Every rage critical hit can boost physical attributes. As long as all attributes exceed 10 points, reaching the limit of normal humans, he'll take down 1 if 1 comes, and 2 if 2 come. Of course, those with truth in their hands are excluded. The Maybach's luxury car power is indeed abundant, and its chassis is incredibly stable. Unconsciously, he had already hit 160 kilometers per hour, without feeling a thing. Several times, it was Lu Fei who reminded him from the side, and Chun Bo only then realized he was severely speeding. Luxury cars are just different. It was already evening when they arrived in Zhu City. The sun was setting, Zhu City's coastline shimmered with golden waves, and the sea and sky blended into one. Chun-Bo parked the car near Lover's Road and strolled along the scenic seaside with Lu Fei. Blue sky, white clouds, and a gentle breeze made one feel refreshed. Lu Fei seemed to have cast all her worries aside, as lively as a young girl. Whenever they encountered a nice view or spot, she would ask Chun-Bo to take photos for her, or she would ask passers-by to take a photo of them embracing. In less than a day, their behavior had grown increasingly like that of a couple. But this couple often attracted more attention. After all, there was an 18-year age difference between them. Even if Lu Fei looked like a woman in her 30s, outsiders could immediately spot the incongruity between them. But Chun-Bo and Lu Fei didn't care about these people's stares. Especially Lu Fei. She didn't even care about Wang Hao anymore, so why would she care about these outsiders? After strolling for nearly half an hour, dusk deepened. The seaside and the setting sun merged, forming a romantic tableau. However, Chun-Bo had no mind to appreciate this tableau. At this moment, he was like a thief, carefully scanning the surrounding passers-by. As their steps gradually moved away from Zhu City's famous Fisher Girl statue scenic spot, tourists became sparse. Finally, Chun-Bo seized an opportunity. There was no one around at the moment. He eagerly moved in front of Lu Fei, his hands wrapped around Lu Fei's slender waist. Lu Fei was stunned for a moment, then revealed a sweet smile. Their eyes met, and affection deepened. Chun-Bo mischievously pursed his lips, and Lu Fei showed no sign of rejection at all. Her eyes and smile were full of teasing, seemingly saying to Chun-Bo, "Come on." Chun-Bo finally mustered his courage, one arm around Lu Fei's slender waist, the other lifting her chin. For a long time, they separated. Lu Fei smiled charmingly. "Bo, was that your first kiss?"
Chun-Bo nodded awkwardly.
This was indeed Chun-Bo's first kiss. He was nominally Lin Mengyao's boyfriend, but when they were together, they would at most just hold hands. And even then, she would only allow Chun-Bo to hold her hand when Chun-Bo received his salary each month. "Want a kiss?"
Impossible.
"Is my technique very bad?" Lu Fei shyly nodded. "It's a bit clumsy." Lu Fei. Favorability +1. Lu Fei hadn't expected this to be Chun-Bo's first kiss. For a scion of a wealthy family like Chun-Bo to have saved his first kiss until now, and given it to her, this made Lu Fei overjoyed at once. "Did you not have a girlfriend before?" "I had one, but I don't know if she counts as a girlfriend." "You don't even know if she counts as a girlfriend yourself?" Lu Fei's bright eyes were full of curiosity. Now, she was extremely curious about everything concerning Chun-Bo. "This matter is a bit complicated. I'll tell you later. The most urgent task is to practice more." "Practice what? Didn't you complain that I was clumsy?" "Of course, I need to practice diligently." Just as Chun-Bo was about to kiss her again, Lu Fei decisively pushed Chun-Bo away, not letting him succeed. Annoying. There are people. Only then did Chun-Bo notice that 3 or 2 people around him were secretly peeking at them out of the corner of their eyes. But Chun-Bo, having just had his first taste of forbidden fruit, couldn't care less about so much. Moreover, these people didn't even know him, so what was there to be afraid of? And this place was originally a sacred spot for lovers, so encountering couples hugging and kissing was normal. It was just that seeing a beautiful and mature woman like Lu Fei being doted on by a handsome young man. This incongruity sparked their curiosity, prompting them to eagerly want to know the story of this couple. Don't mind them. Let them watch all they want. Chun-Bo didn't give Lu Fei a chance to resist. Actually, Lu Fei never even thought of resisting. It wasn't just Chun-Bo who was smitten with Lu Fei. Lu Fei, in the prime of her life, was even more smitten with Chun-Bo. The two acted as if no one else was around, until dusk turned to night. Under Lu Fei's technical guidance, Chun-Bo made rapid progress. A few minutes later, Chun-Bo was no longer the raw recruit he once was, able to perfectly interact with Lu Fei. Ding! Rage value from Wang Hao, +50. Current total rage value, 295 points. Chun-Bo, who was practicing his technique with Lu Fei, received the system notification and felt a pang of regret. Damn it! Is Wang Hao immune to this now? Even this couldn't trigger a rage-critical hit. After asking a passerby to take a photo of Chen Bo and Lu Fei embracing earlier, Chen Bo used Lu Fei's phone to post the photo on Lu Fei's moments. Of course, Chen Bo had obtained Lu Fei's consent. Since they had already officially announced their relationship on moments, it wouldn't hurt to spread some more dog food. He originally thought this photo would trigger a rage-critical hit from Wang Hao, but he only gained 50 points of rage. It seems Wang Hao is starting to become immune to the matters between him and Lu Fei. To get a rage-critical hit from him, he'll have to increase the dosage. Soon, Wang Hao's call came through to Lu Fei's phone. At this moment, Lu Fei had no mind to answer Wang Hao's call. After hanging up several times, Wang Hao kept calling incessantly. Helpless, Lu Fei had no choice but to separate from Chen Bo and answer the phone. How? What on earth do you want? Why do you keep calling me? Lu Fei's tone was full of impatience. Ding! Rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 20. Current total rage value. 315 points. Mommy, are you already starting to find me annoying? All right. What do you need to tell me? Mommy. Chen Bo, that bastard. How many times do I have to tell you? Whether you accept it or not, Chen Bo and I are serious. Mommy. Before Wang Hao could finish speaking, Lu Fei decisively hung up the phone. As the saying goes, a new love is better than one's own child. Especially when Lu Fei was in the throes of a passionate romance at this moment. Chen Bo was extremely satisfied with Lu Fei's performance. Ding! Rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 50. Current total rage value. 365 points. Damn it! Lu Fei went to this extent, and it still didn't cause a rage-critical hit. However, the total rage value has already reached 365 points. He believes that by squeezing a little more out of Wang Hao, he'll soon be able to do the second lottery draw. Chapter 22. Fei, are you tired? How about we get a room and rest for a bit? Chen Bo's gaze drifted as he tentatively asked. After being intimate with Lu Fei for a while, Chen Bo was already burning with desire. Lu Fei's favorability towards him had reached 90 points, and she had already accepted Chen Bo as her lover. Adding fuel to the fire during their rest, things would naturally fall into place. Chen Bo couldn't even imagine how furious Wang Hao would be if he knew about him and Lu Fei. Lu Fei was no longer a naive young girl. One look from Chen Bo and she knew what he wanted to do with her. At the hotel, during their interaction just now, Lu Fei had been wondering what she should do if Chen Bo asked to get a room. She didn't expect this moment to come. At this moment, she lowered her head shyly like a young girl, her two thumbs twirling together, at a loss for what to do. Bo, didn't you say you wouldn't touch me today? Fei, what kind of person do you take me for? I guarantee it on my character, it's really just for a rest. We still have to drive for over an hour to get back to Yang City later. And fatigue driving is not an option. Lu Fei didn't believe a word Chen Bo said. Yet, she didn't feel the slightest aversion to Chen Bo's lies. She even had an impulse to give in. But then she thought that such a thing happening on only their second day of knowing each other, the speed of it made her question reality, and she didn't dare to rashly agree to Chen Bo's request. Let's not go to a hotel. It's so late, and we won't be able to rest for too long anyway. Chen Bo really wanted to say, an hour is enough. What annoyed Chen Bo even more was that Wang Hao had once again avoided a disaster. If Lu Fei had been willing to go to the hotel with him, Chen Bo was confident he could make him suffer too. The point of questioning reality. Chen Bo shook his head slightly and sighed. Seeing Chen Bo's expression, Lu Fei felt a pang of sadness. Did her refusal to go to a room disappoint Chen Bo so much? Indeed, Chen Bo truly loved her. But the words had already been spoken. If she were to suggest getting a room now, it would make her seem too casual. Lu Fei thought for a moment. Then she took Chen Bo's hand and comforted him. You're right, although this car is known as a road tank with a very high safety rating, fatigue driving is indeed not advisable. How about we rest in the car for a while? The seats in the car are quite comfortable. As she spoke, Lu Fei's eyes were full of teasing and hints. Even Chun Bo, a novice in romance, immediately understood the meaning. In the car, they could play some fun games. Light gleamed in Chun Bo's eyes. Won't the space in the car be a bit cramped? Lu Fei gave Chun Bo an alluring glance. What are you thinking? You're not allowed to mess around. Women are creatures whose words often contradict their hearts. When they say no, it means yes. This only applies to wealthy readers. It is not recommended for ordinary people to try. The two returned to the car and eagerly got busy for quite a while. But in the end, they didn't break through the final line of defense. It was a pity that while they were getting intimate in the car, there was no time or opportunity to provoke Wang Hao and extract some rage points. Even so, Chun Bo, who was experiencing such close contact with a woman for the first time, was thoroughly satisfied. But Lu Fei felt both excited and a little disappointed. She had thought Chun Bo would launch a fierce attack on her in the car, and that she would eventually give in with some feigned resistance. But this guy, Chun Bo, either lacked experience or was showing respect for her, as he never forced her to take that final step. But no matter which it was, it made her feel very satisfied. Several times she wanted to push Chun Bo onto the back seat and take the initiative herself. However, reason ultimately triumphed over Lu Fei's desires. Although she was nearly 40, she still needed to maintain some decorum in front of the man she loved. Moreover, she was afraid that being too proactive would ruin her image as a cool and aloof older sister in Chun Bo's eyes. Half an hour later, the sky had already grown dim. Lu Fei pushed away Chun Bo, who was covered in her saliva, and checked her phone. Bo, it's 7 o'clock. How about we eat something before heading back to Yang City? At Lu Fei's reminder, Chun Bo suddenly felt ravenously hungry. Indeed, although there was no strenuous exercise, his intimacy with Lu Fei had caused his adrenaline to surge, leading to intense physical exertion. Chun Bo now rolled off Lu Fei. I'm starving. If I don't get some energy soon, I'll collapse from hunger. Lu Fei smiled as she straightened her disheveled clothes. You young people just have no sense of moderation. If you're hungry, why can't you eat something first? I'm already your girlfriend, and I'm not going to run away. What's yours will always be yours. You've spent so much money on me today. How about I treat you to a seafood feast tonight? I want to eat big abalones. Chun Bo didn't refuse, but directly stated his request. He genuinely wanted to eat big abalones. He had heard that Zhu City's two-head dried abalone was very famous, but one piece could cost several thousands or even tens of thousands. Good quality ones could even cost several tens of thousands. He only dared to dream about it before, but now all his expenses with Lu Fei could be covered by the action fund. He could also benefit from it. But these words, heard by Lu Fei, took on a different meaning. She thought the abalone in Chun Bo's mouth was. Her face suddenly flushed. You're naughty. At a seafood restaurant in a local 5-star hotel, Lu Fei was instantly ashamed of her dirty thoughts. It turned out Chun Bo wanted to eat real abalone. Besides 2 pieces of premium 2-head dried abalone, Chun Bo also ordered the most expensive king crab, wild geoduck sashimi, bluefin tuna sashimi, caviar, sea urchin fried rice, and so on. For just 2 people, Chun Bo ordered a huge table of food, specifically picking the most expensive items. These 2 dried abalones, not even palm-sized, cost as much as 8,888 yuan each. This table of seafood and red wine would cost at least tens of thousands. Even during good market conditions, it would still cost 2 months of Lu Fei's salary. What's more, the luxury market was currently in a cold spell, and her income was not as good as before. Bo, isn't it a bit wasteful for the 2 of us to order so much? Facing a bill of tens of thousands, even knowing Chun Bo's strong financial capability, she still felt a little pain. Today is our first day together. We must celebrate it grandly. Chun Bo felt no pressure at all, and he never intended for Lu Fei to pay the bill. Why pay when he could use the action fund for free? But this. Lu Fei looked warily at the 2 bottles of red wine on the table, whose names she had never heard of. According to the waiter's introduction, these were pure vintage red wines imported from a famous French winery, priced at 9,999 yuan per bottle. Chun Bo not only ordered red wine, but he ordered 2 bottles at once. His intentions were clear. What else could it be if not to get her drunk and then get a room? However, Chun Bo genuinely hadn't thought that much. His idea was simple. He just remembered what Xiao Lei once said. When we have money, we'll buy 2 bowls of soy milk, drink one, and pour one out. Isn't it the same with red wine? Chun Bo's idea was to drink 1 bottle and pour one out. That's how extravagant he was. After Chun Bo inspected the original packaging of the wine bottles and reconfirmed with him, the waiter, in front of Chun Bo and Lu Fei, opened one of the nearly 10,000 yuan bottles of unknown red wine. The waiter first poured a small glass for Chun Bo, signaling him to taste it first. Indeed, there's a reason for its high price. This wine was very mellow and fragrant, incomparable to the tens of yuan red wines from the supermarket. After receiving Chun Bo's approval, the waiter, with standard movements, filled half of the stemmed glass. In front of Chun Bo, then the wine bottle moved towards Lu Fei. I don't need any, do I? If I drink, how will we get back to Yang City later? Lu Fei looked troubled. It was clear that her desire to return to Yang City was very firm. Zhu City is only a little over 100 kilometers from Yang City. Hiring a designated driver wouldn't even cost 2,000. Don't worry. Today is our first day together. A memorable day, and we both must drink a little. Chun Bo picked up his wine glass, signaling Lu Fei to clink glasses with him. Designated drivers would eagerly snatch up a big order for over 100 kilometers. As long as they wanted to go back, there was no need to worry about a driver. Thinking of this, Lu Fei finally picked up her stemmed wine glass and clinked it with Chun Bo. After a glass of fine wine, Chun Bo eagerly devoured the 2 large dried abalones he had been dreaming of. The dried abalones, slow-braised for nearly 10 hours with ingredients like pork bones, old hens, and jinhua ham, had now absorbed a large amount of the essence of the ingredients. 1 bite, and it was delicious and juicy. In one word, smooth. The wild geoduck sashimi had very firm, resilient, and springy flesh. Aside from the exorbitantly priced king crab not suiting Chun Bo's taste, he highly praised the other ingredients here. After feasting for a while, Chun Bo suddenly felt his stomach churning. At the same time, red blotches appeared on his face. Ugh! Chapter 23. In the suite on the upper floor of the 5-star hotel, Lu Fei was wiping Chun Bo's forehead with a wet towel, her face filled with heartache. Don't you know you're allergic to seafood? And you even ate it with red wine. You nearly scared me to death just now. Recalling the scene from earlier, Lu Fei still felt a lingering fear. Chun Bo, who had just been enjoying his meal, suddenly broke out in red spots all over his face and even vomited the delicious food he had just eaten. This scene even scared the hotel manager half to death. If anything were to happen in his hotel, he'd probably have to pack his bags and leave. With the manager's help, everyone immediately rushed Chun Bo to the hospital. Fortunately, it was just an acute seafood allergy. This type of allergy comes and goes quickly. By the time they arrived at the hospital, most of the red spots on Chun Bo's face had already faded, though he was still a bit listless. Out of consideration for the patient, the doctor originally suggested Chun Bo stay for observation to prevent a relapse, but Chun Bo stubbornly refused to stay in the hospital. Lu Fei also didn't dare risk Chun Bo rushing back to Yangqing overnight. Left with no choice, they could only return to the 5-star hotel for the night. To avoid any negative impact, the hotel manager not only waived their bill but also arranged a luxurious suite for them. Chun Bo, having recovered considerably, propped himself up from the bed and caressed Lu Fei's face. I'm sorry, I scared you. It's just that I didn't know I was allergic to seafood. Lu Fei's eyes were full of suspicion. How could you not know you're allergic to seafood? Haven't you ever eaten seafood before? Lu Fei's single question left Chun Bo speechless. Chun Bo had eaten seafood before, but eating so much at once was indeed a first. He never had the means to before. Someone who could casually give her millions, claiming he couldn't afford seafood, would Lu Fei believe that? I think you did it on purpose. You just wanted me to stay the night with you at the hotel. When Lu Fei said this, there was no blame in her tone, but rather a hint of happiness and excitement. At this moment, her heart felt as if she had eaten honey. She was convinced that Chun Bo had done it on purpose to keep her at the hotel overnight, knowingly eating large amounts of seafood despite his allergy. Wasn't this risking his life just to ensure she stayed the night? What more could a woman wish for when a man would go to such lengths for her? Chun Bo was just about to defend himself. He really didn't know he was allergic to seafood. Just as he was about to speak, Lu Fei, affection +1. Ha! How did Lu Fei's affection for him suddenly increase again? With this boost, Lu Fei's affection for him had already reached 91 points. Only then did Chun Bo notice that Lu Fei was looking at him with deep affection. Chun Bo suddenly understood that Lu Fei had filled in some scenes in her mind, mistakenly believing that Chun Bo had even risked his life to be with her. Which woman wouldn't be moved by that? Chun Bo suddenly felt that his seafood allergy had come at the most opportune moment. Otherwise, he really wouldn't have found an excuse to keep Lu Fei here. So, Chun Bo played along, holding Lu Fei's hand with deep affection. Fei, thank you for staying with me here for a night. Given the situation, what else can be done? I can't just leave you here alone and go back to Yangqing. First, Chun Bo quickly moved to the other side of the bed. I'll make some space for you. Come up, dream on. Lu Fei lightly patted Chun Bo. I booked another room next door. I'll go there to sleep once. You're asleep. I'm afraid you won't behave if I sleep with you. Chun Bo was practically cursing in his heart. Chun Bo had no experience in pursuing girls and didn't know what Lu Fei was truly thinking at the moment. Lu Fei's affection for him had already reached 91 points. Yet she still wouldn't give in? Are older women really that difficult to win over? Chun Bo immediately raised 3 fingers. I promise to behave. Lu Fei scoffed disdainfully. Those 3 fingers are the most dishonest thing about you. Chun Bo felt a flush of embarrassment. At this moment, he somewhat regretted his actions in the car this afternoon. He had been a bit too eager, and exposed himself. You don't trust me? Trusting you to behave is like trusting I'm Empress Wu Zetian.
Chun Bo.
So difficult. He couldn't trick her, so he had to outsmart her. You. Chun Bo immediately feigned vomiting and discomfort. Fei, the doctor said my allergy could relapse at any time. If it relapses in the middle of the night and you're not by my side, what will I do? Can you really bear to leave a sick person like me alone here? This Lu Fei's expression was slightly troubled. I can agree to sleep here tonight, but you have to promise not to bully me. I promise. As long as you don't want to, I will absolutely not force you. Chun Bo replied without hesitation, and with conviction. All right, I'll trust you. Lu Fei hesitated for a moment, then shyly responded. After showering separately, the two lay quietly on the bed. At this moment, the entire suite was very quiet. They could even hear each other's heartbeats. After lying there quietly for 10 minutes. Hey, where are you putting your hand? Maybe it's because I had an 4 earlier, but I feel my hand is very cold. It's a bit warmer here with you. Liar. Your hand is clearly burning hot, but I just feel cold. All right, just for a moment. Take your hand away once it's warm. 10 minutes later. Hey, just leave it there. Don't move it around. I can't even sleep. Xiao Bo. Didn't you promise me you wouldn't mess around? Where's your integrity? You lied. Don't do this. There's number 001. It's very dangerous. At the same time, Wang Hao paced back and forth at home, glancing at his phone. It was already 11 o'clock at night. He had called Lu Fei 10 times in a row, but all calls went unanswered. This had never happened in so many years. In the past, no matter what Lu Fei was doing outside, if it was past 10 p.m., she would always call him, proactively to check in and tell him not to worry. But this time, with Chun Bo in Ju City, it was already 11 at night, and there wasn't even a single call. She wasn't even answering his calls. As time passed minute by minute, he grew increasingly uneasy. A single man and woman staying overnight in a foreign place, with the long night ahead, even an idiot would know what might happen. Chun Bo, you bastard. If you dare to. Ding. Detected anger value from Wang Hao. Plus 60. Current total anger value. 425 points. Chan Bo, who was in the middle of things, received the system prompt and immediately became even more excited. Holy cow, he suddenly received 60 points of anger from Wang Hao. Did Wang Hao know what he was currently doing? That shouldn't be possible. If he knew, Chun Bo would consider an anger critical hit to be the minimum. Chun Bo suddenly had a very wicked idea. Since you want to know so badly, then. Chapter 24. Ding. Rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 20. Current total rage value. 445 points. Ding. Rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 30. Current total rage value. 475 points. Ding. Rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 40. Current total rage value. 515 points. Chun Bo was stunned, watching the rage value arrive once every minute. What was wrong with Wang Hao? His wicked plan hadn't even been put into action yet, and Wang Hao was already continuously contributing. Rage value. What did it mean? Could it be that Lu Fei's not returning home for the night was enough to make him so angry? If he knew what Chun Bo was doing right now, the rage value generated by Wang Hao would be unbelievable. By midnight, Wang Hao had already contributed nearly 300 points of rage value. Chun Bo's current total rage value had reached 755 points. With another 200 points of rage value, he could participate in the 1 billion cash grand prize draw. Again, Chun Bo was so excited. While diligently working, he silently cheered on his nominal son. Wang Hao, whether I can become a billionaire tonight depends on how much effort you put in. Kuanping's power, endless vitality. Chun Bo lay on the bed and lit a cigarette. He picked up his phone casually and looked at it. Sure enough, the phone showed more than 20 missed calls, all from Wang Hao. On WeChat, Wang Hao's profile picture also showed more than 10 unread messages. He opened them and saw they were all long voice messages of 20 to 30 seconds. Chun Bo randomly opened a few. 2150. Chun Bo, I'm telling you, you must get my mommy home by 10 o'clock. Try exceeding it by 1 second, and I guarantee I'll cripple you. 2201. Damn you. I told you my mom had to be home by 10. What time is it now? 2210. You bastard, are you dead? No calls answered, no WeChat replies. I'm telling you my patience is limited. I order you to immediately, right now, send my mommy home. 2300 hours. Damn your grandpa. It's 11 o'clock. You guys could have crawled back from Ju City by now.
Chin Bo.
Where are you right now? Give me your location, and I promise not to beat you to death. 2300 hours. Damn you, you bastard. Where did you trick my mommy into going? I'm telling you, if I don't have news of my mommy by 12 o'clock, I'm calling the police. I'll accuse you of malicious abduction of a woman. 002. Chun Bo, everything in the past was my fault.
I'm sorry.
Please let my mommy go. She's innocent. If you're upset, take it out on me. I promise not to fight back or talk back. 010. Chun Bo, I was wrong. Truly wrong. Some things you really can't do. We used to be good brothers, good friends, right? My mother is also your elder. You can't do this. Chun Bo felt incredibly satisfied reading Wang Hao's messages. Now you know we're good brothers, good friends? What were you doing before? Weren't you acting all high and mighty when you tricked and humiliated me? Now you're begging for mercy? Too late. Chun Bo glanced contentedly at Lu Fei, who was feigning sleep on the bed, and replied to Wang Hao, Damn you. Lu Fei heard the commotion, turned her head, and looked at Chun Bo. "Who is it making you curse in the middle of the night?" Chun Bo smiled at her. "Some jerk who tricked my feelings and stole my hard-earned money, and is still sending messages to curse me in the middle of the night. How can someone be so bad? No wonder you're cursing in the middle of the night. He's truly worthless. Deserves to be cursed." Chun Bo looked at Lu Fei and chuckled. He thought, "Not only did I curse him, but I also did this." Ding! Detected rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 250. Current total rage value, 1005 points. Rage critical strike generated, rewarding endurance attribute +1. Host's current physical attributes. Strength, 7. Speed 9. Endurance, 7. Normal human peak is 10 points. Congratulations, host. Current total rage value exceeds 1,000 points, earning a chance for the 1 billion cash grand prize draw. Host, do you confirm immediate drawing? Oh, he didn't expect that merely replying to Wang Hao with a curse word could generate the strongest rage critical strike ever. And in just one day, the rage value once again reached over 1,000 points, earning another chance to draw. Wang Hao, you really are my biological son. Having learned from the previous experience, Chun Bo was not in a hurry to draw. This time, before drawing, he had to treat it with solemnity. He couldn't be so muddled again. Although the Kunping kidney source was incredibly powerful, he only wanted to get the 1 billion cash grand prize as soon as possible. Although he could currently enjoy a lavish life with the bound person, ultimately this money wasn't his. As the saying goes, with food in the house, the heart is at ease. He needed money in his own pocket to feel secure. But with only one drawing chance, the probability of winning was only 50%. Thinking of this, a wicked smile curled at Chun Bo's lips. Wang Hao, you've already contributed 2 drawing chances to me, so a few more won't hurt. If I really win the 1 billion cash grand prize, I will definitely treat you like my own son in the future. Chun Bo gently patted Lu Fei, who was nestled beside him. "Fei, Wang Hao called me nearly 20 times, and I didn't answer. I wonder if he called you." Speaking of Wang Hao, Lu Fei couldn't help but sigh. Her worst fear had come true. At this moment, she really didn't know how to explain her relationship with
Chun Bo to Wang Hao.
And she didn't know how to face Wang Hao. "He's probably worried about me. It's okay. I'll talk to him properly tomorrow. Let's not worry about him for now." Chun Bo's heart skipped a beat. "Don't do that. If you don't worry about him, who will give me my rage value? You must worry about him. Right now, is there anything between you two, mother and son, that cannot be resolved? The longer things drag on, the greater the conflict between you, and the deeper the misunderstanding. If I were to affect the relationship between you two, my sin would be great." And he called so many times. "I wonder if something happened. If something really happened and you missed it, you'd regret it for a lifetime. I don't want you to fall into self-reproach because of me. So, let's hear what he wants to say. If there are misunderstandings or conflicts, we need to communicate and resolve them in a timely manner. That way, we can become a loving family." Chapter 25. At this moment, Wang Hao's eyes were empty and lifeless. He sat silently on the floor, as if all his essence had been drained. Starting from 10 o'clock at night, his calls and WeChat messages to Chun Bo and Lu Fei were like a stone sinking into the sea, receiving no reply whatsoever. He was all too familiar with this situation. In the past, when he secretly took other junior sisters to hotel rooms behind Lin Mengyao's back, he would enter this state of near disappearance. It was already midnight. Based on his experience, Lu Fei had long since been thoroughly ravaged by that scoundrel Chun Bo. But a glimmer of hope still lingered in his heart. He was betting that Chun Bo wouldn't dare to actually lay a hand on Lu Fei. At the same time, he believed that his mommy, who he had been with for 20 years, was not the kind of woman who would be easily swayed by a man. In the past, there had been wealthy men who spent lavishly on Lu Fei, but Lu Fei remained completely unmoved, rejecting all those who harbored ill intentions towards her. Wang Hao believed that Lu Fei would still maintain her aloofness in the face of Chen Bo's advances. The reason Lu Fei publicly announced she was with Chen Bo was definitely because Chen Bo had some leverage over her and was threatening her. Wang Hao firmly believed this to be true. After 2 hours of continuous calls with no response, Wang Hao had initially planned to give up. If he heard from Lu Fei tomorrow morning, he would call the police directly. But just as he was about to give up, he suddenly received a message from Chen Bo. F***CK your mother. Those 4 short words instantly made Wang Hao's world collapse. Originally, Wang Hao didn't even dare to think along those lines. Even if Lu Fei didn't come home at night, she would certainly maintain a certain distance from Chen Bo. Doing anything out of line, that was impossible. But the 4 words Chen Bo replied with were like a key, unlocking forbidden images in his mind. Could Chen Bo really? Did he really dare? No. Wang Hao absolutely couldn't accept such a thing happening. Lu Fei having a boyfriend had already pushed Wang Hao to the brink of collapse, and this man was Chen Bo, who was the same age as him. This was even more unbearable than killing him. So, as if crazy, he picked up his phone again and kept calling Lu Fei. It wasn't until his 3rd call that the phone finally connected. Lu Fei, Hao, what's wrong with you? Why are you calling me so late instead of sleeping? Wang Hao, Mommy, where are you? Are you okay? Did that scoundrel Chen Bo force you to do those disgusting things? Lu Fei, Hao, Mommy has told you how many times. Chen Bo is a good person, he has never forced me. Wang Hao, okay, Mommy, I believe everything you say. Can you come back first? Or give me an address, and I'll come pick you up. Lu Fei, I'm still in Zhu City. I'll be back first thing tomorrow morning. It's so late. Don't run around. Wang Hao, but. Lu Fei, ugh. Why are you doing that again? Wang Hao, doing what? Lu Fei, Hao, I wasn't talking to you. Oh, it hurts. Wang Hao's brain was struck by a thunderbolt at this moment. Charred on the outside, tender on the inside, and fragrant with banana. If you weren't talking to me, who were you talking to? This tone, this muffled moan, isn't this exactly the same as when Lin Mengyao is busy? The scene on the other end of the phone instantly appeared in Wang Hao's mind. No. Wang Hao couldn't help but let out a hoarse roar into the phone. A desolate BGM instantly played in his mind. Snowflakes fluttering, north wind whistling. The world is a vast expanse. No, Mommy. Where are you now? I'm coming to pick you up right now. Why don't you understand, child? I'll be back first thing tomorrow morning. Remember to lock the door when you sleep. I'm hanging up now, No. Wang Hao's hands and feet were cold, and the hand holding the phone trembled incessantly. Chen Bo really dared. He really did it. He is. Ding. Detected rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 300. Current total rage value. 1,305 points. Rage critical hit occurred. Rewarding stamina attribute +1. Host's current physical attributes. Strength 7. Speed 9. Stamina 8. Normal human peak is 10 points. Yoshi. 300 points of rage value received. Chen Bo, who was diligently exercising his abs, revealed a wicked smile. This move really worked. Instantly secured 300 points of rage value from Wang Hao. He suddenly felt that Wang Hao was not only not annoying, but even extremely cute. Having continuously increased his stamina by 2 points, he had now done 200 push-ups in a row, and didn't feel tired at all. Coupled with the Kunping kidney source rewarded by the system, this power, this endurance was simply invincible. After Lu Fei hung up the phone, it instantly lit up again. The phone, which was on silent, kept flashing. Chen Bo deliberately reminded her. The phone's ringing again. Want to answer it? Don't bother with him. He's such a big kid, yet he's always clinging to me. Sometimes I find him quite annoying. With that, Lu Fei casually tucked her phone under the pillow. Out of sight, out of mind. Chun Bo was a little disappointed. If Lu Fei had answered the phone again, he would have immediately cranked up the intensity to maximum. He believed it wouldn't be difficult to get another rage-critical hit. What a shame. From Chun Bo's angle, he could still see Lu Fei's phone flashing. 10 minutes later, the phone finally stopped flashing. On the other side, Chun Bo's phone started vibrating again. His phone, also on silent, Chun Bo had set to vibrate mode. Just as Chun Bo reached for the phone, he was glared back by Lu Fei's fierce gaze. I told you not to bother with him. Hurry up and do your business. Don't get distracted. Saying that, she tucked Chun Bo's phone under the pillow again. At this moment, Chun Bo felt as if Lu Fei was an insatiable tigress, eyeing him fiercely. Suddenly, Chun Bo realized that he seemed to be the prey, not having gained any rage value from Wang Hao, just as Chun Bo felt a slight disappointment. Ding! Detected rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 150. Current total rage value. 1,455 points. Rage critical hit occurred. Rewarding strength attribute +1. Host's current physical attributes. Strength, 8. Speed 9. Stamina, 8. Normal human peak is 10 points. What's going on? Not answering the phone also caused Wang Hao to generate a rage critical hit. He really is a good brother. Chun Bo decided that when he returned to Yangqing tomorrow, he must give Wang Hao an extra large drumstick. Chun Bo thought that was it. However, it wasn't. Ding! Detected rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 75. Current total rage value. 1,530 points. Ding! Detected rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 80. Current total rage value. 1,610 points. Ding! Detected rage value from Wang Hao. Plus 110. Current total rage value. 1,720 points. Rage critical hit occurred. Rewarding stamina attribute +1. Host's current physical attributes. Strength, 8. Speed 9. Stamina, 9. Normal human peak is 10 points. Holy crap, did he just break through Wang Hao's rage limits? Rage value was continuously increasing. And another rage critical hit occurred. In just 1 hour, there were 3 consecutive critical hits. This was so damn satisfying. Although no rage critical hit was generated, it gave Chun Bo immense pleasure. As the rage value continuously increased, Chun Bo became even more enthusiastic. Soaring to the sky. Chapter 26. Ding! Detected anger value from Wang Hao. Plus 30. Current total anger value. 3,120 points. Ding! Detected anger value from Wang Hao. Plus 40. Current total anger value. 3,160 points. Ding! Detected anger value from Wang Hao. Plus 30. Current total anger value. 3,150 points. Congratulations, host. Your current total anger value has exceeded 3,000, granting you 3 chances to draw the 1 billion cash grand prize. Host, would you like to proceed with the draw immediately? Early morning. Chen Bo, who had just fallen asleep, was woken by the system's notification sound. My goodness, does Wang Hao not need to sleep? He had been busy all night, and Wang Hao's anger value had been racking up all night. It showed no signs of stopping even until dawn. Although there were no more anger critical hits, the continuous pain value had already accumulated over 3,000 points. 3 chances to draw the 1 billion cash grand prize. With a 50% chance of winning, he was bound to win at least once. Chun Bo really wanted to give Wang Hao a big kiss at this moment. He was too awesome. Chun Bo secretly swore that if he could win the 1 billion prize twice, he would treat Wang Hao like his own son from now on. It wasn't until 7 in the morning that Wang Hao perhaps finally couldn't bear it anymore and fell asleep. The anger value displayed by the system remained at 3,275 points, no longer increasing. Without the system's notification sound bothering him, Chun Bo quickly fell back asleep. He was simply too tired last night. Although they had gone 7 rounds last night, that was Lu Fei's limit, not Chen Bo's. The Kunping kidney source, combined with his near-human limit endurance, was truly impressive. During the process, Chen Bo even thought that if it weren't for the impending 1 billion cash grand prize, with his Kunping kidney source, he could easily make a fortune working as a male escort at a nightclub. He heard that male escorts as strong and enduring as Chen Bo were highly valued in nightclubs, easily earning tens of thousands a night. If he met a rich woman, 100 or 200,000 wouldn't be an issue. Most importantly, his Kunping kidney source had no wear and tear, meaning he could work 365 days a year. Even cattle and horses wouldn't dare work that hard. If he really went to work at a nightclub, it would be hard not to get rich. But he was about to receive a 1 billion cash grand prize, so who would still care about such small change? It wasn't until noon that Chen Bo and Lu Fei woke up from their sleep. Recalling the details of last night, Lu Fei shyly gazed at Chen Bo. Their eyes met, full of affection. The two of them couldn't help but get intimate again. Only after being exhausted again did they enter a relaxed moment and start chatting. Lu Fei said that Chen Bo was the most outstanding man she had ever met in her life. Even Wang Hao's biological father wasn't a fraction of Chen Bo. If she hadn't been blind when she was young, she wouldn't have followed Wang Hao's father right after, turning 18 and given birth to Wang Hao. This was her biggest regret in life. With the cautionary tale of Wang Hao's father, Lu Fei had become very distrustful of men. Since she became a counter girl, more and more men tried to trick her into bed, and her heart became increasingly closed off. At one point, she even doubted if she still liked men. It wasn't until Chen Bo appeared that she felt love again. At the same time, Lu Fei was also dreaming about her future with Chen Bo. Bo, I know that an excellent person like you definitely won't only have an old woman like me by your side. So even if other women appear around you, I won't feel surprised, shocked, or even jealous. As long as I still have a place in your heart, that's enough. Perhaps this was the advantage of older women. They knew their place and understood when to advance and retreat. Let alone Chen Bo, which man with a bit of money in his pocket could resist? Why else did the bankrupt boss Su spend money to establish a song and dance troupe composed of exquisite beauties? Macau's gambling king, Boss He, even had 9 concubines. The former richest man, young Master Wang, changed girlfriends every 10 to 15 days. These were all living examples. Chen Bo was also very pleased that Lu Fei was so sensible. Although Lu Fei was different from Wang Hao, his intention in approaching Lu Fei was impure to begin with, mostly to rack up anger points from Wang Hao. If Lu Fei had unrealistic ideas and demands for him, Chen Bo would abandon her without hesitation. What a joke. His 1 trillion yuan action fund hadn't even started yet. If he were to be tied down to one tree, wouldn't he have gotten the system for nothing? If that were the case, he might as well give this system to all the respected readers. Just as Chen Bo breathed a sigh of relief, Lu Fei unexpectedly added, "Actually, I've always wanted to have a younger brother for Wang Hao." What the heck? Chen Bo stared at Lu Fei in astonishment. She really dared to think that. This idea was simply too good. Chen Bo couldn't imagine how intense Wang Hao's anger value would be the moment he found out he had a younger brother. Just thinking about it made Chen Bo excited. Chen Bo gave Lu Fei an okay gesture. "You just give birth. You and your child won't have to worry about any expenses in the future. I promise to give you the best." To reassure Lu Fei, Chen Bo transferred 5 million yuan to her. Receiving Chen Bo's gesture, Lu Fei gently leaned against his chest. "My dear, you are so good to me." Chen Bo had originally wanted to give Lu Fei a small fortune directly, but he didn't do so. Firstly, he was worried that being too generous would scare Lu Fei. Secondly, he was concerned that if Lu Fei had too much money, she might become overconfident and difficult to control. With women, one must always maintain a cautious attitude. This was Uncle Long's golden rule from over 10 years ago. Unfortunately, no one understood him back then. As male compatriots gradually awakened over the years, they realized that Uncle Long's words were indeed profound truth. As for Lu Fei wanting a child, in fact, last night's 001 was long not enough, and later on it was all. Anyway, Chun Bo didn't understand, and perhaps Wang Hao really would have a younger brother or sister. Anyway, Lu Fei took another day off today and was not in a hurry to return to Yangqing. So Lu Fei pulled Chun Bo to shop in Ju City's mall. This time, Lu Fei did not stop at any women's merchandise stores. She led Chun Bo to men's merchandise stores. My dear, you can't give me things anymore today. It makes me seem materialistic. Today it's my turn to give you things. Although the items here are very ordinary, far less valuable than what you gave me, this is my heartfelt gesture, and I hope you don't mind. Especially your phone. I don't know what meaning that phone has for you that makes you unwilling to change it, but as your girlfriend, I sincerely hope you can change it. Lu Fei's words deeply touched Chun Bo. After giving her over 10 million, this person finally understood and thought of giving him something. That broken screen, slideshow-like old phone could finally be replaced. Ultimately, Chun Bo chose the same Huawei Mate Max trifold screen phone that he had given Lu Fei. Picking up this dream phone that belonged to him, Chun Bo cherished it like a treasure, unable to put it down. This scene, seen through Lu Fei's eyes, made her heart as sweet as honey. Could Chun Bo, who gave her 10 million without hesitation, not afford a 10,000 yuan phone? How could that be? Chun Bo's joyous expression was entirely because the phone was a gift from her. Loving the house and the crow, that was the principle. Lu Fei was once again convinced that Chun Bo's love for her was absolutely genuine. Besides giving Chun Bo a phone, Lu Fei also bought him several sets of branded clothes. Men's clothes were inherently cheaper. These few sets in Dragon Country only cost a few thousand yuan. Chapter 27. Back in Yang City, Chun Bo and Lu Fei parted reluctantly. Lu Fei drove the Maybach with temporary plates back to her residential complex. Wang Hao, who had turned into a mother-waiting stone, was already waiting in the underground garage for his mother to return. Seeing the brand new Maybach GLS 600, Wang Hao suddenly perked up and instinctively, politely, moved aside. Wang Hao knew very well that anyone who could drive such a high-end luxury car was someone he couldn't afford to offend. If he could, he would even eagerly try to curry favor with such influential figures. The next second, Wang Hao felt something was off. That million-dollar luxury car was about to park in his family's parking spot. What an opportunity! If he could get to know a big shot of this caliber, he would have another resource when navigating society. In the future, and if the person in the car was a beautiful, wealthy woman, that would be even more perfect. Wang Hao, whose mood had been terrible after being slaughtered by Chun Bo all day, felt a slight improvement. Now, Wang Hao was about to go forward and remind the Maybach's owner that this was his family's parking spot when he was surprised to find that the person in the driver's seat was none other than his mommy, Lu Fei, who hadn't come home last night. Lu Fei, who had just parked, also noticed Wang Hao, so she rolled down the window and gave a kind, ant-like smile. How? Did you know Mommy was coming back and specially came out to meet me? Mommy, you're finally back. Seeing Lu Fei, Wang Hao almost cried out like a young boy. He missed his mommy so much, especially knowing that his mommy had spent a night with Chun Bo in Ju City, and they had, thinking of this, Wang Hao felt as if his heart was being twisted by a knife. Ding! Detected anger value from Wang Hao. Plus 30. Current total anger value. 3,180 points. Chun Bo, who was riding the subway back to school, looked utterly bewildered. Again, Wang Hao, you're too effective. I didn't do anything and you're contributing anger value to me. Should I accept it? Or should I accept it? Mommy, where did this Maybach come from? What about your Tesla? Lu Fei waved to Wang Hao, motioning for him to sit in the back row. Although Wang Hao loved sports cars, he was equally not immune to luxury cars of this multimillion-dollar caliber. Hearing that he could experience sitting in this Maybach, the worried look on his face instantly disappeared, replaced by a cheerful expression. He eagerly sat in the back row's boss seat, feeling the expensive leather beneath his bottom and the cabin full of technology and luxury. Wang Hao's eyes were full of light. Do you like it? Lu Fei turned to look at her son and smiled. Of course I like it. This is the dream of so many men. Mommy, whose car is this? You need to be careful not to scratch it. The paint repair for these luxury cars is incredibly expensive. Silly son, this car is mine. If it gets scratched, it gets scratched. There's insurance. Wang Hao was shocked, dumbfounded, incredulous. Mommy, you're not kidding me, are you? I've seen this car on AutoHome. It costs at least over 2 million after all expenses. 3.5 million after all expenses. Wang Hao's mouth instantly gaped into an O shape in shock. 3.5 million? Mommy, did you win the lottery? You're willing to buy such an expensive car. With this money, you might as well pay off our mortgage first. Lu Fei lowered her eyes and chuckled lightly, smiling playfully. Silly child. Don't you know Mommy's financial situation? How could I possibly be willing to buy such an expensive car? Your father gave it to me. Wang Hao gasped, his expression full of surprise and excitement. My father? Did he get rich? Did I become a second-generation rich kid? Not your biological father, your stepfather. Stepfather? Wang Hao's mood instantly plummeted from heaven to hell. Stepfather. Lu Fei had already defined Chun Bo's position as stepfather. A fervent heart was instantly frozen and shattered. Ding! Detected anger value from Wang Hao. Plus 150. Current total anger value. 3,330 points. Anger critical hit triggered. Rewarding strength attribute +1. Host's current physical attributes. Strength 9. Speed 9. Stamina 8. Normal human peak is 10 points. Chun Bo, still on the subway, was once again bewildered. He could understand the increase in anger value. It was inevitable that Wang Hao would have emotions upon seeing Lu Fei return home. But an anger critical hit was triggered. Heh. Chun Bo really wanted to know what Lu Fei had done to Wang Hao. One night in the future, when Chun Bo learned of Lu Fei's conversation with Wang Hao today, he gave her a fierce. Wang Hao quickly turned and got out of the car, slamming the door shut. Seeing Wang Hao's state, Lu Fei was also startled. The reason Lu Fei told him all this was that she hoped Wang Hao could see Chun Bo's good qualities, and thus inwardly acknowledge Chun Bo's relationship with her. She just didn't expect Wang Hao's reaction to be so strong. Hao, listen to me. Lu Fei chased after him from the car. What's there to talk about? You never believe what I say. How many times have I told you Chun Bo isn't a good person? Why do you insist on sticking with him? How am I sticking with him? He pursued me and we truly love each other. Why can't you understand me? How can I understand you? You're 18 years older than him, and he's still my classmate and enemy. You can be with anyone but him. We, the people involved, don't mind the age difference, so why do you keep dwelling on it? Besides, who I'm with is my freedom, isn't it? Wang Hao looked helpless. When did his beloved mommy become like this? Since he was old enough to understand, he had never been so at odds with his mother. Chun Bo, it was all because of Chun Bo. Wang Hao realized that confronting Lu Fei head-on would be fruitless, so his tone softened. Mommy, I don't blame you for falling in love and getting married, but besides Chun Bo, you have other choices. There's President Zheng, who runs the clothing factory. He's honest and looks decent. If you want someone handsome, you could consider President Li, who works in funds. Not only is he handsome, but he's also wealthy. And there's President Liu, a senior executive at a state-owned enterprise. Any of these men would marry you immediately if you were willing. Hearing Wang Hao mention those three presidents, Lu Fei looked disdainful and disgusted. What do you know? That President Zheng is so stingy, he even goes Dutch when eating with me. And President Li, don't even get me started. He has more women around him than clothes. Do you think I don't understand his little tricks? As for President Liu, the state-owned executive, do you know his wife is in America? Are you asking me to be his mistress? Wang Hao was stunned. He only knew that those 3 people he mentioned had sent him many good things in their pursuit of his mommy. So he thought they were all good people. Of course, if it weren't for Chun Bo's appearance, he would never agree to his mommy being with any man, let alone becoming his stepfather. What about Chun Bo? Can you guarantee he's not approaching you for? I've told you Chun Bo isn't like that. Not only did he give me this luxury car, but he also helped us pay off the mortgage. And Chun Bo also transferred 10 million to her. That was 10 million. If she spent it carefully, it would be enough for her retirement. Wang Hao was astonished again. You said Chun Bo also helped us pay off the mortgage? Lu Fei nodded seriously. Wang Hao's impression of Chun Bo only then began to improve, when he suddenly noticed Lu Fei's red knees. He had seen such signs on Lin Mengyao many times. He didn't need to think to know this was last night's
Chun Bo's achievement.
Looking at those red, pressed knees, Wang Hao was once again furious. Ding! Detected anger value from Wang Hao. Plus 300. Current total anger value. 3,630 points. Anger critical hit triggered. Rewarding speed attribute +1. Host's current physical attributes. Strength 9. Speed 10. Stamina 8. Normal human peak is 10 points.